back to the channel. I just wanted to talk a little bit about self-help books, and the constant pursuit to try and level up and become a better version of yourself. And this might be kind of hypocritical of me because I talk about men being healthier, being leaner, less body fat. You know, you've got to train, you've got to eat well. You know, I want men, I want people, I want the human race to be healthier and better versions of themselves. However, sometimes I see a little bit of a trap within the kind of self-help realm, the self-help books, and the constant push of you have to be better. And this is, you know, gets back to my own story a little bit, and also people that I've met, you know, along my path of life. What I'm trying to say is that I think the constant pursuit of trying to always level up can have like the opposite effect, because you end up putting so much pressure on yourself. And in my experience, I've probably made the mistake of going from course to course, coach to coach, constantly reading the next book from, you know, Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, then Jungian psychology, to James Clear's Atomic Habits, and then it's the next one and then the next one. And these are all great books. However, if you don't give yourself time to absorb what you've learned, take that on board, implement the steps, you know, become that new version of yourself in your own time based on the information or the course that you've done, then you almost have the counter effect of feeling like you've never achieved anything, and you're not upskilling yourself fast enough because you read one book, you don't implement it, or you think you are, you're not digesting it properly, you get on to the next book, then you're enrolled in a course where you've got all these things to try and tick off and do, and your life becomes this constant battle of constantly upskilling and never feeling like you're achieving anything. And I feel like the same goes for me personally with content creation, is particularly probably on Instagram. YouTube, I don't find it so stressful, but constantly trying to create a reel and multiple stories every day with a call to action and, you know, download my ebook. And it's just, it becomes very overwhelming. And I've kind of stepped back a little bit from being so constant on Instagram because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't mix well with me. And I think the same goes for self-help. I've had friends in the past who go from doing, you know, like a spiral dynamics course into an archetypes course, and it's this constant thing where, and then a silent meditation retreat, and they end up almost having more mental health problems afterwards because they're putting themselves under so much pressure to do these things one after the other. These aren't bad things, but I think doing too much of that becomes a recipe for a little bit of self-destruction, or, you know, you're not living up to your mentors, you know, ideas that they have about you, or you're not keeping up with the group or the class that you're in, and it can actually, I feel like, have a negative effect. Like I said, these things aren't bad. I think for me personally, and from what I've seen with some friends, is like I think it's okay to take a step back. You know, do the course, whatever it is. It could be a year-long course, a 6-month course, a 3-month course. Absorb what you've learned, take it on board. You know, might have a month off or two, and then go to the next thing where you feel like you're ready to level up. And you could say the same thing about, you know, doing weight loss challenges and transformations and stuff like that. Like, you know, you do like a 3-month shred, and hopefully you've learned enough within that course or that 3-month shred with your coach, your trainer, that you've learned enough where you can maintain the goals that you've achieved. You know, maybe you do that 3-month shred and you're really strict and disciplined, and you get super lean, you're at 10% body fat. But then the first 2 weeks after that, maybe you put on a little bit of weight, but not enough to make you feel like it was a waste of time. Just you've learned enough, you've got yourself in shape that you know that you can maintain majority of what you've earned to really enjoy that success. But the intensity of dieting and the intensity of training, maybe it kind of tapers off a little bit. You relax, okay? You enjoy your progress. You have a month of where you're just training regularly, but you're not burning yourself at both ends, burning, the candle at both ends. You've gone from eating very low carb, very low calories, very low fat. You've gotten super lean, but then you're introducing a little bit of fat back into your diet and you feel a bit better, but you still look great. And then when you go again, or you've kind of start off at a better level that you did before that first shred, and you shred again, and then you look really good. And then it comes into bulking season, and you can take the pedal off on the restrictive eating. You can eat more calories, good quality calories, of course, and your training changes, and you start the process again. But don't be afraid to go really hard for periods of time, and then take the foot off. And I'm more talking here about a self-help course, a money mastery course, or a leveling up course with your business, or your learning. Maybe you're doing how to learn English. A language, English, French, whatever it is, and you go really hard for 3 months, but then you just want to have a month or so of practicing what you've learned. And taking it on board, and then you enroll in the next course. So I'm just wanted to shed a bit of light on there with you guys. If you ever have experienced the stress of maybe thinking that you constantly have to be self-helping yourself and doing the thing, rather than reflecting on what you've done over the last 12 weeks, 6 months, absorbing it, really actually learning and understanding what you have just gone through, and merging that into your new self, and then going again. I think that's a healthier way of looking at it, rather than going from course to course, from, upgrade, but realistically, I feel like sometimes that can burn you out and have the negative effect. What do you think? I'd love to hear what you think about self-help sometimes being a little bit of a scam, because you do have these gurus out there, and it's just like, bang, go, go, go. It's always about making the next dollar, doing the next course, enrolling in the next thing, getting so shredded, training hard every single day. And, you can't be running in red all the time. It's good for short periods, but give yourself some time to absorb what you've learned. What are your thoughts? Please comment, like, share, subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think self-help can be a little bit of a scam sometimes? What's worked for you, what hasn't? And we'll continue the conversation. Have an excellent day, guys. I hope you found value in this, and I'll talk to you soon.